Hi, welcome to our Retire Early lifestyle. Glad you're here today. Thanks for watching the video. Let's get right to it. We can't believe all the peddling, pushing videos out there about how much cheaper living abroad is. Don't they have anything else to talk about? It's always comparing the USA prices with another country abroad. And because you can find it perhaps cheaper, people say life abroad is better than life in the USA. It really depends on who you are and what your circumstances are. Well, I think people put too much stock on money, and money is only one aspect that defines standards. And really, it's just the lie of the century because, number one, you're being suckered. You're being suckered if you're following the crowds and believing in the hype. And when you get there, everything will be great and dandy. But after about 6 months to a year, you realize you've been somehow duped because you'll come to understand it's not really that much cheaper. And depending on where you go, it may not be very conducive to your overall health. If you're moving to Europe and it's summertime, you might be able to escape the dirty water endemic that can befall your immune system. We'll get to that in a moment. Not saying that you can't find a better life abroad, but you have to do things differently than all the other millions of Americans that move abroad to about 20 different cities abroad. The few expats that are scattered in unknown areas of the globe, they're not going to divulge where they live because they've been watching our channel and know not to brag about how cheap everything is and about how much better it is than the USA. And that brings us to the second aspect of life abroad that makes it the lie of the century, and that is the strangeness of how people leave behind family and familiarity for a foreign land. And that's number two. You see, people just aren't meant to move to another country, learn a new language, and automatically fit in with the culture and citizens of a foreign place. Why? Well, because even when you learn the language, you're still the foreigner in a foreign land. Whatever happened to vacationing abroad and just keeping all your stuff, your home, your car, and your belongings? And when you're done with your vacation, you just go back home to all of your assets, your family, and your familiar surroundings, such as your language, your food, your culture. Whatever happened to that way of life? Why are people in such a hurry to give up what they know and love for a foreign land? When you think about it with careful contemplation, it's strange. It's really, really strange. And we did it! And only after we did it did we realize that moving abroad is a strange thing to do, especially for silly reasons such as 3 months of better weather or the perception that it's more affordable. You can stay in your own country for that. The book Mega Trends, which came out in the 80s, outlined the migration from north to south that was happening in the USA at the time. Thanks to better machinery such as air conditioners and air conditioning systems, which we now take for granted, people that normally would have never moved to the south could now, in the 80s, enjoy it, even though soaring hot temperatures in the hundreds would normally have kept those pasty-skinned northerners away. However, the current migration to foreign countries is not an appropriate analogy. Why? Because back then, speaking of the megatrend migration of the 80s in the USA, there was a real improvement that was useful and tangible, which meant more comfort and better machinery. You can eat, taste, and feel that and sleep better. That's true improvement. In today's rush to leave your country, there is only the perceived and very abstract idea that your life will be better abroad. The idea is not perpetuated by real-life tangible things that you and I can see. Rather, it is perpetuated by the song of the violins, the harps and the incense, or rather smoke and mirrors of the tale tellers, known as the rams and the vlogging entourage that accompanies them. And now that we have a thing called the internet, it is paraded in front of the eyes of billions. Do you now see how things have changed? Is it not a given that our real quality of life would actually suffer following this crowd? Historically, before this show opened to the masses, there were only a handful of reasons why anyone would leave their own country and move permanently to another country. And here they are. Number 1, married to a foreigner from that country. 2, job or career transfer. 3, no ties in your home country, no family, no finances, no friends, nothing. No connections. 4, missionary with a church, and this is usually only 2 to 4 years at the most. 5, you move abroad with your whole family with the intention of emigrating as a family in that country for better financial opportunities, which incidentally have been in the USA for the last couple of centuries now. Those are the reasons that are sound that might work. And people that go abroad sight unseen are playing Russian roulette with their lives. These people go abroad believing one thing while a whole other thing is portrayed to them. They are the ones that say, "It's not what I expected it to be." And lastly, it's the lie of the century because unless you move to Europe, almost the rest of the world, I hope you're sitting down, has filthy water and polluted oceans. I know you want to talk about the water being filthy in the USA, but you can go down to your local water company on any given day or call them and set up an appointment to go look at how your drinking water is filtered. They will even give you a tour of the plant if you just ask them. And really, more people should be doing that if they don't feel safe about the water quality in their town or city in the USA. Complaining about it won't do anything. On the other hand, good luck buying the proper filters in these countries with polluted water. They're almost non-existent. Notice I said the proper filters because we've done the homework and we speak from what we know. If they had filters, they're slowly phasing them out, and some countries simply don't carry them at all. You may have to have them shipped in, but the problem with that is they only filter at the source. There is a slew of ways you can get parasites, even if you have a filter on the kitchen tap. So then what about when you take a shower, wash your dishes, wash your hands, or drink from a glass from the dish drain that still has a little bit of water in it? What about those vegetables from the mercado that are sprayed with filthy water that you're bringing home from the mercado? What about when you go out to eat? Can you trust the restaurant? Maybe you go out for tacos, but they put raw lettuce and tomato on your tacos. Should you eat it? Do you eat it? As long as you live in an endemic area abroad, you will somehow in some way get infected with bacteria and or parasites. It's inevitable, even when you have a filter on your tap on the kitchen sink. If you're fairly healthy to begin with, you may not notice it at first. Some people don't even know they're infected, and then with other folks, their immune system breaks down slowly. Because living in an endemic area, your body is continuously getting infected with parasites somehow and some way. In Ecuador, the citizens take the parasite meds like candy, but they're terrible on your gut system because they also kill off the good bugs. For us natural health adherents, we're always finding ways to get rid of parasites. Our go-to candy was papaya seeds, a teaspoon every morning in a smoothie. This keeps you from getting sick, but you always and perpetually have parasites when you live in most countries abroad. We were just talking about this today. We were saying we'd rather live in a tiny shed in the middle of nowhere in the USA than get slowly poisoned to death by filthy water abroad, no matter how much cheaper it is or how much warmer the winter is. And it's not just bad drinking water either that you have to contend with. Most beaches abroad are continuously polluted with raw sewage. Let that sink in. In Puerto Vallarta, the rivers have sewage in them, and then the rivers are drained into the ocean beaches right next to the $1-million condos. It's a cesspool over there. In southern Europe, when it rains heavily and because of the poor drainage systems on the streets, All the street sludge goes into the sea, and in some areas, even the sewage drains into the sea in inconspicuous areas that they think no one knows about. All over the coasts of Italy, you have polluted waters and polluted non-potable water going into people's homes. In Salinas, Ecuador, they drain the sewage right in full view of the $300,000 condos. In Baja, Mexico, there is no hiding of the sewage pipes going directly into the sea either, and then it gets transported by the currents to San Diego, California, where the San Diego city is always complaining to the city of North Baja about this problem. But because Baja, Mexico won't change the situation, San Diego gets the raw sewage remnants from Mexico. Isn't that nice of them to share their sewage? People don't talk about these things because it will upset the tourist industry and upend the retire abroad media and gang. We shouldn't upset the apple cart now with the real, honest truth. We probably should already know that the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence, but we don't. And because of that, we'll continue to feed the life abroad image of a better life anywhere in the world, as long as it's not the USA. According to the current literature, the USA is the worst place to live in the world. That's why most expats come back home to the USA, right? Look, we know this is a heavy pill to swallow for some folks, but that's only because you've been following the wrong crowd. It's time to make a change. We did it, and now it's up to you. So that's it for this video. Let us know what you would like to see in the next video in the comments below. Take care, everyone. Be blessed. Bye-bye.